Real estate investing is a fantastic way to build wealth. It's appealing to have tenants pay your mortgage while obtaining a range of other benefits. Other methods of investing frequently appear limited to intangible figures on a screen. Many people value having a physical object that they can see, utilize, and develop. Including real estate in your portfolio also aids with diversity. However, it is much too frequent for people to get into landlording without first conducting adequate research to assure that the investment would be successful. It's easy to look at a deal and believe it'll earn money, especially if you only look at the gross income. Unfortunately, the significant expenses associated with owning and maintaining a building can eat away at a significant portion of that wealth. Preparing a thorough study ahead of time will save you time, headaches, and money. Welcome to Cashflow Canvas, where we teach lessons about investment and money-saving techniques. If you want to make your financial future better, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for the latest updates. Choose a target property. Consider which type of property will best meet your needs. For some, single-family houses are the greatest option since they have a low entrance barrier and allow them to gradually scale modest sums of money across a range of properties. Others want to make larger investments and buy multifamily homes with several tenants paying the expenses. While multifamily takes more administration from the start, the chance of 100% vacancy is smaller since if one renter walks out, the property isn't vacant as it would be with a single-family home. Condos and townhomes are an additional alternative. While they provide reduced maintenance because the association normally handles the exterior work, this does not mean they are without flaws. Homeowners' organizations vary in their views on tenant-occupied residences. Also, while the fees may cover upkeep, it is vital to ensure that the association is financially sound, that the property is maintained to your standards, and that the fees are affordable. Don't forget about the possibility of changing association bylaws, which could limit your ability to rent the property. Select a location. Where do you want to home? It's normally recommended that you buy close to your house so you can keep an eye on things, but is that a growing location with a high return on your investment? It's all about location, 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 as the phrase goes. Ideally, you'll buy in a nearby location where people are moving, with low property taxes and landlord-friendly legislation, and in an industry where residents can earn a respectable living. To make the numbers work, home values must also be in line with predicted rental income. As a general rule, the best places for investing are those with slightly lower than average property prices. Purchasing in the right location can offer you a good appreciation. In poor quality markets, property prices fall or fail to keep pace with inflation. Even after accounting for cash flow, this could result in a loss. In an ideal scenario, the property would appreciate at least 3% per year and generate a positive cash flow. Examine the predicted earnings. How will you determine how much money the property will generate? You must be conversant with the rental industry and have a decent notion of possible income. There's a considerable likelihood that income numbers will be accessible when purchasing a multifamily, but they'll still need to be validated to establish future rental income. Examine the residences that are now available for rent on real estate websites and Craigslist. Local property managers are frequently ready to provide unbiased insight on the local market. Your real estate agent can also give you an estimate of the rent. Consider what changes, if any, could be made to increase the property's value and fetch a higher rent. Cosmetic renovations, the inclusion of laundry, or the creation of an additional bedroom inside the space are examples of improvements that could bring in more rent. Calculate the cost of maintenance. Rental property buyers frequently neglect or underestimate the cost of maintenance. These figures may vary greatly depending on the age and condition of the structure. Is there any landscaping that needs to be done? What about the removal of snow? A typical tenant remains in a property for about 2.5 years. When they go, the place may require fresh paint, flooring, and a variety of other repairs to bring it up to the level where it can rent for market value. Furnaces and air conditioners may also require service. Most people are aware of the need for property care, but tend to underestimate the cost. According to Home Advisor, The typical interior paint job costs $1,800. It costs $60 per month to do this every 2.5 years. There are several items that require maintenance, thus do not underestimate their prices. Set aside money for capital purchases. The preparation for capital expenditures is the second phase of the maintenance budget. Roof replacement, new windows, new kitchens, bathrooms, flooring, furnace or air conditioner, driveway, siding, and other improvements may be included. Capital expenditures are costly objects that must be replaced on a regular basis. The average roof repair costs $8,000, with most homes needing one every 20 years. That works up to $33 each month for a new roof, which you should budget for. Consider the age of those goods and when they'll need replacement when evaluating your expenses on a new property so you can start budgeting for them right away. In other words, the roof could be 15 years old and will need to be replaced shortly. When these items are required, properties frequently come up for sale since they give the present owner a reason to sell. Determine how it will be handled. Hiring a management business is the simplest approach to produce passive income if you have the funds for it. If you intend to self-manage, you must still account for management. Otherwise, you are buying yourself a job. It is vital to be compensated for your time. A property manager will charge between 10% and 20% of the gross rent, with some having different paid arrangements, such as a one-time fee for replacing a tenant. Self-management can be a significant strain, being on call 4 hours a day, 7 days a week, and dealing with tenant turnover causes many landlords to retire. Furthermore, a professional property manager is good at what they do and well worth the money, given that many new owners are confused with legislation, how to market the property, pricing, screening renters, and so on. Make provisions for vacancies. You must plan for a vacancy, which is something that every landlord will face. It could take a month or more for the former renter to leave and the new tenant to move in. Because the average renter remains for 2.5 years, you should budget 3 to 4% of the total rent for this period of vacancy. This presupposes that the home is in high demand and will rent fast with prompt cleaning and upgrades. Yet 8 to 10% is a safe bet just in case your tenants only want to stay for a year. Local professionals will be able to tell you about the area's vacancy rates. Set aside some funds. Set aside a percentage of your rental revenue for unanticipated expenses. Although maintenance and capital expenditures are generally predictable, you must be prepared for the unexpected. Saving for those expenditures alone does not provide a margin of safety. What if the property is damaged by a hurricane, flood, or fire? What if your homeowners association levies a surcharge? What if a dreadful tenant refuses to pay rent and refuses to leave? The income loss, eviction process, and repairs will all be pricey. There will always be unknowns that cannot be forecast, therefore budget for these unforeseen concerns. Banks prefer to see roughly 6 months of the property's expenditures saved up, which is a decent number. In the event of a problem, you should be prepared to cover the costs for half a year. Make sure you conduct adequate research to achieve a lucrative investment decision. As we conclude, I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you found value in this video and learned something new, and I look forward to seeing you in our future videos. I would deeply value it if you could like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support will help us to create more valuable content, and we can work together to secure your financial future. What are the key takeaways from this video that you can share in the comment section?